This is beef and this is pork that has been marinated in kosher salt for at least 3 days. And you can do this at home in your refrigerator. Obviously, during those eras, they would have big chunks of meat and you hang it outside once to get it air dried. In other words, the salt is the preservative for it. So all I'm going to do right now is cut it off the tree and take it over to my cutting board and start preparing the West Indian Pepperpot Soup. While I get started, I have my assistant Bill, who's also my chef de cuisine, get ready on the garlic and the onions. If you like it chunkier, you make a bigger cut. If you like it smaller, you make a smaller cut. There's really no right or wrong. The only thing too important is the main ingredients of the actual soup itself, which is the pimento and obviously the taro root and the thyme. The other thing today we're going to do, since we're right here and we're doing it in honor of George Washington, we're not going to hold back on the heat today. And by heat, I mean the habanero peppers. And this habanero pepper is going to be part of the soup that gets tremendous amount of flavor. What happens many times when people do it, even in the West Indies, if you have a really, really hot one, reach me one, Bill. If you have a really hot pepper, what many times they do, you take a little fork or you take a thing and you actually literally just pierce it. Imagine that. One pepper, not even cut open, into a stew or a soup, and it gives you enough heat. Today, obviously, since we're cooking for General Washington and his troops, which are hardy men that can stand up to the heat, we'll keep the heat in it. While he's doing the onion, I'm going to cut a little more beef. And again, you see the discoloring on the beef. Don't be worried about it. It's just the natural process of taking the moisture out of the meat itself. What you want to use for a cut of meat for that is a nice a chuck that has a lot of good fat in it, like this one over here. So this is the best way. So if you go to your butcher, ask him for a beef chuck. It's not something that I would use a tenderloin for because it has no flavor. You need the amount of fat that's right cooked into that. The onions, Bill is going to chop really quick, real coarse. This recipe that I'm making today, I learned on the bank of the Rio Grande, which is in Port Antonio, Jamaica. And I learned it from an old lady that was doing that for maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 generations herself. And I cooked it right on the bank of the river. And when you saw earlier, you saw that string in there, and there's a reason for that string. The string that's on the meat is also used when the salt gets more coarse and it gets more drier. They would actually take that and just throw it in the river on a string and let the river water wash off the meat. And in a few seconds, believe it or not, we'll start that soup. What's unique about that soup is that it can be cooked in any kind of modern equipment.